Now at 4, the latest from the Target 12 investigators. Steph Machado joining us live in studio at 4 to talk about how Providence is spending its COVID relief money. So Steph, you had a report this week that the city has only spent 8% of the money for small business relief, and the program is set to expire.
That's exactly right. Providence got millions of dollars in American Rescue Plan Act funds last spring, Brian. They opted to very quickly pass a plan to spend some of that money, saying they needed to cover urgent needs, including a $7 million small business relief fund, which was set up to send $2,500 checks to potentially thousands of businesses. But a year later, that program is expiring in 2 weeks, and while 229 businesses did receive the checks, the city has not given out the vast majority of that money. There's still $6.4 million remaining. So what happened here? Well, a barbershop owner from the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition tells me she raised the flag about problems with eligibility back in October when the city officially launched the program. Jennifer Ortiz tells me she told city leaders the requirement that a business have a minimum of $5,000 in tangible property in their business would make many ineligible to apply. But the city didn't change the rules on that, Brian, until this week with the program about to expire.
It was a failure. It was a failure that they're trying to fix now, that I warned them was going to be a failure. And now they're going to put the pressure on us to rush and apply for these grants.
So Steph, what is the city saying now about why small business relief didn't end up going to many more businesses?
Well, I spoke to Council President John Igliosi, who defended the decision to put the eligibility requirements in and the decision to cut $2,500 checks rather than larger amounts, despite apparently having plenty of money left over. He says city leaders estimated thousands of businesses were eligible for these grants, so they wanted to have enough money to go around. He also said many business owners were hesitant to apply because they'd need to provide their tax returns to the city to prove they were harmed by the pandemic. But he didn't have a clear answer for why it took so long to drop that problematic tangible tax requirement, which the city council and Alorza administration have known about for months.
We're going to keep on pushing. We're going to do another big push to try to get them to apply. But like anything else, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So we're going to keep on laying the trough to water, trying to give them opportunity to drink. But on the inverse, we eventually have to make a decision with the money.
Again, we're talking about a lot of money here. So where is the extra $6.4 million going to go when the small business relief expires again around the corner, July 1st? Yeah,
well, it's going to go right into the city budget that passed the city council just last night. Assuming Mayor Alorza does sign that budget into law next week, it says any unexpended money from this small business fund would go towards infrastructure improvements in business corridors and other capital projects. So think sidewalks, landscaping, and that's a pretty broad category. So we don't know exactly where the money will end up doing specifically, but certainly not direct checks to the businesses that the money was originally earmarked for. I will note any small businesses who didn't get the $2,500 checks do have until July 1st to apply. And again, the rules have changed, so you should check if you're eligible. We have a link to the application on our website.
Has a bit of a different tune when we talk about it going toward infrastructure versus directly to businesses.
Exactly.
Steph Machado, always tracking the money. Thanks for being here.
Of course.